say ewo UTV so and I will show me din e de ekua asante ba mensa ene ya sign aba maso so e de emra no say e bremo ene yan komo twetwe no efa enkwada sebe ya wo mo outside of marriage awade enya aware mu ena ye wo mo sankra no eya na enkofo ebimu efre mo bastard aha and say omo ye illegitimate children dem say nhwe saafo no eba no inheritance and say ade dia womo edibio and say womo ewo right omo wotumi bi say also omo etumi nya womo enanom and say womo ejanom ejapade bi edi ana inti ye ba be twetwe nkomo no me ne lawyer eye Oxford Osebunsu and or private legal practitioner and e wo me studio ha ye ba be twetwe nkomo no inti ye kwaje nkrato ye ba na ye de atoaso say me da se we fidie no edaso edaha ene me ho ya ye fe eye lava eye clothing palace for one war lava building opposite pay and na one more SCC me ho ama me ho aye kama o hwehwe wo mo betimi afro mo 0271 998313 0271998313 and number the beto below there the number the beto ase na wahwe na wafre lawyer yenko mo twetwe no anase adesua ne ye ba be ye no eso straight say a kase obi eye illegitimate child why
yo nana medasi the card no mechia ya hwefo
and now somebody has been born out of wedlock
say the identity no illegitimate child there yemra no ma ho kwan per se say obetima ka say nipa we there na the person can say nipa we there oni mu anasa say and the point is that ye hwe say anka ne papa mu a anka obia be wo ewo aware mu na say obi ni aware so mfaso ene awo but koba say ebi mpokura aware dada ana woni we to ho na be ma de ene mema aba no mu slogan ne say ene ba ko ese onya ba wo fu na wo garden minim de fi
obi ka chem say be ma de wo scanner wan wo nchen na undu
bi mu kura ka sasantini de eso wo chebe kai nana wonya ne ba bi ko otumfo ba ya wo nansan yi na wo kai o se be ma de asantini de sanity nti ubo so awari pa nso no watch etini pa ye wo no enchen no ekoba se bia wo ne wo yankama bi na wo no ana ye kan say ankamo term say illegitimate but ya wo no ya wo ne nchen enche say onimu anase ne so ni faso anase oni relationship ya emra na nkasa create relationship for
mano enti saa kwada na ya wo no anase nipa na ya wo no e was say court koje court or the bia na say processes bi o also oye and sana ya recognize no say wo your papa ba ana wo your o ma be ba
Debbie na wo yes wo ba wonyem ene ni papa na wo to wa de no waba normally no we dey obi le kan wo say anga kan no time wa be hu pa say wo papa no wo twempra wo anwurama mu no e bra akasa be wawu afi wu pe ne edu ya ba so be di teacher wo akachi obedi teacher wo hina ho oba ha ana obewo ye nka owu a ana nka yehu nachi tinye ka se ada apunsani be wu na nka be hu nachi but say no wo ho a na de na ba in fact akwa no kra no wo banyini no a ni bia banti no wo ye ane afro ye oba ne fa furu na afro se asumasi na wo tika kakra nti wo se yenye de emfa ne bra but the be ma on komo no akwa animu ye ebra wo fi say esan say ya nwome me ma me onti aware asinti no mentitiye ana asa mehwe no nkoyi
na ka me ba bebe ho say sa enkwara na ya wo mu ewo sebe outside of marriage and outside of any institution be ye law you recognize no sa nkwala no eba no to say inheritance and say eba no adie dia womo the same rights as enkwara na ya wo mo aware mu no
pepe you see something that we have not paid attention to but for no cry ado so adia yen pay attention to it. And it say emrano ema ho kwan say akora bi a ya wo ne bia no wo ya wofo a wo hwe na mana kodi 18 eno ne Children's Act neka na wo stretch no a Court Act any Matrimonial Causes Act no so say oh yen hwe no sa mani nkodi 21 yes enti akora bia wadi 21 bia pa ho no wuni locus bia kubusa papa sika na mo amadi di 30 na mo tete mo amfie no amfi say this ya be ware mo no mo tete mo kwa enti da bro
no aka say ni locus ya say kwa ko say bia na me papa wan hwe me minim na afei na menyi na mehu so no no mitumi nkoda ne ka na wan hwe me ni nyina say so
fie so mra no say na wo be frem man betra meko me de meka no enye abosiremu na meko mra no say where did 21 abro so a meka case bi a choice where did 21 abro so a papa ni hu kwan so obehwe a moto ho a na masade da na wo twa light bill e twa water bill uni hu kwan udumi fa papa nko ba bia wa hwe ontem wa hwe ontem e bi kwa oba ontem kwa oni sika o de ba behwe enti na efede to ye trim se akura wo hia maintenance boni fe maintenance de mo bo chi Ghana e kan maintenance bo chem kan child support akura wo hia child support no akura wadi 0 to 21 anka children's are kind but say other acts stretching got 21 after 21 o papa ko bit ma so ni school fees I man here asem kese said na me papa hwe me edimi hwe no e bi kwa be kwa na papa ne hwe no a kodi 21 na university na djuma say no enti ma me se da wait ma hwe am na ni 30 anware ne de wa hwe no enti na o discard bi kwa papa no a enko hu papa
me pese uwe na kabisa se na papa na hwewa na wo abedi 21 ni nyina wa hwew e bia 21 afi na waba wonso so eyo hye se o so hwe no woda ne we ni hwe na
ana yet no see
pese
our life ejina amamre ane amane so na ewe afi ho se eno kwa na boa ye ma ye embra enu ti na ma customary law kwa na a part of our constitution I recognize and say na ya mamre ene ya mane tradition and custom of ye ni part Ghana especially asantefo ne say wa hwoba in fact anyo obampo pese na ohwemu a ye hwe se ubehwe wo fa simple enti ye asantefo ne de other tribe de no wa hwoba but asantefo pese ubehwe oba de ba to behwe wo fa se aka oba no na nani hwemu no amamre ne amane ne kyese omunyina no mo aba behwe hwe kane no na ye nwo emfa nye trophy woni na mo ye wo afuo mutu wo hwe wo size of wafu a ana wo tina na mo ware bebrebe no na what Professor Akosan woni mu ni papa almost 198 asesen no ware bebre because no wo person wo ye no ma kese so ye no ma gatin kra no ni ye wo mo fefe so ye wo de be ye adwuma so etina me wo hwew aye adwuma na afi akire no ba wi a matime ayede won so wa ba hwe so ama minti that was our tradition na eno emraba nti wo hwe tradition nti say enti na eya na modi dwa e manfo asum na wa ko school wanya adwuma ware ne wo no enti say bi mu because karena so mewu na mehwew wo ya adwuma no aba be me back ban ye wo hwe back na wo hwe me di 18 a any 21 na be ma be hwe back eti a man of massa ho kan tradition but esan say tradition our custom na nko ye ntino we still are binded by bond by those things nti na ye dwene saa ko ho nti saa na tie nti sana na ya mamre ne tie sana ne ya man ye ST ba ene nti saa bi
se wo hwe empena ba anase saa nkra na o mu fi mpena ne mu a often times no be hu na se ebia eye gya no kofa saa akra ne ba na akra ne to a eja ne to a eya na emprepi no oyere na no te saa ware na se no empese obepene ama saa empena ba no aba beje ejapade ni bi sa spouse no or right because ebia obetimi aka say me na me me kunu atena na ya bobra na ya ye say ejapade ye nso ye menti na ye na wo de nka ofri nchen na abaye wo maame amebre bi enti ye beti sa spouse no betimi deny sa akola no from inheriting any property and as any inheritance from ne papa no.
You see, my men sent be no for truth. Remember them come away ebe ode. Nti my men for truth. You see?
Ma shefo nti o.
Wa shefo o dwon mo pa.
Ah, me dwon mo. E so wo mo ti ase yi.
Sa awo woma aban. Nti se okura awo.
Lawyer kan bi em.
Awo
na ma ko wo.
Ye woma aban. Enkura ya wo mo no. Ay aban dia.
Sa
Sanity. Enti wo de hweso fo ene wo. Enti nta wo kura no wo ba na se wo hwe di na otimi hwe akura no a aban timi di no. De no ko ba bi fo me ye ko hwe no. Nti your foster home. Now we children's actor. Wo chese e ba se wo foster akura. You use word parenter. A man cry her parent is a wona or far baby by na a parent too. A man her parent the all hair crana ma buying. What does it? You bet my hair crana ma buying. Or no name ranny bunu say, were your parent, and you were what a baby I would drink. A fatu trinity and cry a woman, and your own fat, would the old hustle. And nothing now take a cry. A buying timidu echo, you know, cotton. And a secondly, and a beamuno. Eighteen as a mumiano because I am a say I was so fast, and I say our real so fast when I walk. Two now no cosia, bear may be obey, been a marco church and a ma war. Samo nice and say relationship, no. A bed do baby movies a moon relationship will be more. Caught in a bed, baby a crown uncle. To court and wedding was oh, and a body and case or nephew, but see why who said, who Piscabia, we are so many bear money competition, won't mean no. A crown, bear money bit my honey, but my bear. But I heard the Bema, Cosi and Cosi, or bank or then quarter. Then you had the better third person. What I say, and when you say, my wo, a dear me banner me by Nessa, so my. Into 90 Constitution angas you see Constitution can Article 28 or say Tiro Kayo T we see Wedlock now Constitution I used to be was look at Article 28 clause 1B or say Parliament shall enact such laws as are necessary to ensure that every child, whether or not born in wedlock, shall be entitled to reasonable provision out of the estate of its parent. What I say? In the estate near Wajapade, it is a Japade no a wohane and a woo. The child is entitled to a reasonable provision. Now we'll go back to even Matrimonial Causes Act, which even came before the Constitution. And it just said, we Children's Act, no, which made provision, Court Act also mentioned that there should be a reasonable provision. So that is how Parliament enacted law. But even before then, we had a Matrimonial Causes Act, Section 22 was saying custody and financial provision for children. It says here, in proceedings under this act, the court na make no court nti wo ma no de wo hwe so hwe ni ye
me sure mo yi me sure mo amaban
court be ja wo ya amaban the courts are inquire whether there are any children of the household it is a begu aware a court no ho kwan so bebusa say nkura wo do petition for dissolution of marriage. It is well stated in it. And also the court may either on its own initiative or on application by a party to proceedings under this act make an order concerning a child of the household which it thinks reasonable and for the benefit of the child. Into anything, even in the dissolution of marriage, is the interest of the child is paramount. And to say either you come by application, say a crano, you be say you be here maintenance say koda court no judge it to her no one kasa say nkra wo mu dia obehye be man na obehye oba no say can say moji aware no but be nti akra de kwan say so we akra de mo be fa brofo kase be toilet legitimate child e bi ni ba bia. What I say? What?
Me bisa way is a case be a personally me amenim. Eye say papa ni wu ye no. Na ko say ma me say efie na metimu no. No because me ye oyere no. No na wo say mefa. Na me say papa no so ne dan osi ye nyina na e ba akope. But no wa akra bi won chen akra na kafe na me say we di 6 so say onye ndu baby a. But esa na say no de atu ne tim say sa dan no ofa no. Sa kwala no was not catered to. And see, question I'm maybe say, akwala be say no, na or you and so feel say, okay, a dine about come and was semifano. How do we cater for that child?
And court to her. And I'm going to take
court.
And then the here no, they go court. You see, and I can say, court to the Emrano, on the court or friend, manti. What I say, because the court cannot see everybody and see everything. And definitely it's interesting. In fact, what they call social welfare crisis, social welfare will take it up. And if there's a need for them to come under the application to make a provision for, it's a reasonable provision. You see, my main appetite kakra, it is not only about so called and premu. Bimpa, una ope, and now only a crabbiatna. And our crown would need 18, and now be bonima, will be named the SEN were free. The court, the law says that we should make provision for that child on your back.
Okay. And to say, be a makofa a mini biba, ewo, a cra, me cra, namdena babet namen chain. Now, unfortunately, I'm saying, I mean, I'm not a nam me free. No. Ose court say o say akora
emra
say
e be make reasonable provision e kan nyina no e bia ma sa akora no nti enye
anko sa akora no nye mojaba o
na me kan nti na me ka cho say akora no na you see the law, the principle of the law is that akora no ho fa na better time with chen wonim nifa enim banku
we ka se fa no koma na busuafo e
na wawu no say what ho no na wu ye no na de koma na buja for dia ana meka ne se wakofa na tra nti akwani life depend wo emrano ma o metra meka se me ne me yire enti no wafa me yire fa japade nti akwani nkosa akwada bi. The caveat here is that once the child is 21 all support ceases. Sanity enti wo he Humphrey Bonsu case bi Humphrey Bonsu enkwenu na oho no court ma eti asese. So reasonable support na ye kan. So we did 21 there. Ye de bema no. But ehon na omo pleading and I say omo argument and say akwa na bro 21. Ba papa na ti ase na akwa no wodi dem. No be a wodi dem there. Wodi 50 kra wodi dem. Ontimi nya te say de ye no. Court say the mra there. The law is the law. And to say what did the move why they were 21 on there would mean your home.
International say and collect more special needs kids no or no so cry no 21 no or dear
I see
E won dey I say e me yakakra.
Yeah, and I say man no yakakra.
Akra we di 21 na sebio na adwemu kan kakra ana we di dem on to me perform to say ya ne hu na ye won sa na 9 na ye yi kwa ye bre. Anyway, wo kasa na twema adwua kogina foster kids any adopted kids. Awaremu ebinya awaremu nyina na sebio ya ema efremu eba na ebia yakọ akwakọ adopte enkwala na ase ebia yakọ foster enkwala bi ababet na ye nchen na ye show mu oftentimes when say ebia eja na and I say sometimes awofo me enu to me efrim na ebusuafo na ba say mo kra no ye friend say ye nim baby a ebusua mobo ye nim baby e kosa mo free buy enti ejapade no mo nsan ko
bia Nigeria movie
aha
ni apamo
pane apamo na she say enkwala no aye basa san kwala no whether adopted or fostered omu legal rights ben omu wo to their your friend say foster parents and I say the adopted parents
and American say akra no ye de wo bre no a wo adopt ya enti na your legal process obefam adopt akra enye se wo fiti kane no na wo akra so wo ayi a wo ba na de baba enti sa ubenya asem what I say enti if you want to adopt a child, there's a proper procedure as you adopt. And America, you see, the law makes provision for the canon, reasonable provision, because I mean, a Ghana hano. Answer now, ube kum unifasono. No, the better 30. Because then cry 23, 25, where we university. National service 1 year. 26. Job searching 3 years. 28.
I like that. I like that. 3 years.
Getting job 29. On top TV 30. And you say, oh, here is your condition. Yes, sir. But the law is the law. Because the point is that anybody who say, Mema crowd or back crowd, Bema, Nipa doesn't know Kumomadi 30. Or move left and right. One of them 20. Sana and Kakwe. But Jamaica Moatia say again, when we come to the Constitution, Article 8 now, a Japadian Kasa, Yekano. Exam say, it be original tradition. If you say, Anka Japadia, dear, Bema ya Japadia, or by ya Japadia or your man in Ba. Bema so ya Japadia or your man in Ba. And Tessa, I'm running him, sir. I'm running say. We hear Article 18, 1, clause 1 will say, every person has the right to own property either alone or in association. Every person. Now there's no provision anywhere in the constitution or any law. I will say, yeah, Japadiano, never mauba. What does I say? One cababiao. I didn't say, we are now here, Samansia. Una wo chire bebe o Japade na nko enye obia ne bekanti obia no awu a waye samansi a court be de beto nchen na wakọ family bi di akọcha Japade ensida
lawyer ensida de na nso ye ba obetoa saa ne so amame ye nkọje nkato ye mra no sesen e wo UTV so e na wo hwe we are discussing the legitimacy of children born out of wedlock. Ye ko break ye ba na ya to ankomonis e wo UTV so na uguswa wo hwemene lawyer Oxford Osebonso na twetwe nkomo afa the legitimacy of children born out of wedlock ene omo inheritance rights e wo Ghana ha nti lawyer ye gusu ayeke nkode ya wo mo sebia wa say ye kono na say me question is say foster kids adopted kids, what are their rights?
Sure.
Yes.
Makano, the section 13 of the Wales Act, any section 13. And I can't constitutional provision. Maka matrimonial cost. Mesheda. Na me doing about second banner. Me ka free meeting. They say the way I am actually. In fact, me ka free meeting go I am run but I just wanted to see something. See, also if upon application being made not later than 3 years from the date upon which probate of a will is granted. So another beautiful thing we will nearly miss. The High Court is of the opinion that a testator has not made a reasonable provision, whether during his lifetime or by his will, for the maintenance of any father, mother, spouse, child under 18 years of age of the testator, and that hardship would thereby be caused. The High Court may, taking account of all the relevant circumstances, notwithstanding the provision of the will, make reasonable provision for the needs of such father, mother, spouse, child out of the estate. So no a foster child, so a adopted child, so a child born out of wedlock. The law is saying that impose a will or no. That is the general rule, that nobody will touch it. But the only time they will touch the will is whereby they believe say ni panic to chain your adopted child or your back. What does it say? Because some baby back. Now say ABI sense we netinchimusa ABI sanoma komoze madam netifie ana o chinchimusa bi okwa say madam or papa ne ye wo ni say no so godane ni say yemfa ho. So why any provision which is reasonable to cater for them? That's according to the 18 one there. Cause say by application upon application, and I say ebimpa. So who them can see the your be in the way on your kind of dependent. And see the law foresee on go for on be depend on. Oh, can you say some enka? And then na for maba me and my wife and children. But before na be man be me no abehunu no na community property busuafo be 1,000 ahwe no as we be ye de me and my children. What I said, no problem. Opa ye we kura na mfa o maame nka ho o maame de the court will say make a provision for your mother, your father, and the spouse, and then the same provision for children. Children amaka no e wo no won chain wa adopt no what won chain e bi kura no a legally, but we can argue say any panatra won chain because you can no 3 years. Yes. And we dia be 12. And yankopon BBS and wo. And 12 to 18 no. Untimi ga say obia untimi ga say ye kokan we no anka ho. E bia na ye a referee the court to make a provision for it. Okay.
Inti me twaso bi say does that mean say enkwada obi o ha bia no na ebusua no na ye ebusua ne ti sa enkrofo na bia na oye ebusua ne ti nti bia ono na hwefie ne nuanom ketewa na say those people are not children but e bia na circumstances nti o na ehwe omo no so ofri mu a emra no ehye say sa enkrofo na ono na ehwe omo no e wo say ne japade ni bi no ye de masa enkrofo no.
Section 13 provision.
I like the way you're holding up your
Section 30 any sanity. Enti na me can say you see aya obi wo kwa na owu yempo na o se da maka o se papa kra ma wa hweme enti reasonable provision na baba wa hwe na 500,000 na be kono ho bia once a month no o se wa hweme enti you will be against the law and seven wuni hom pokura no a the law upa ye will no oten crime now papa te akurase now the japade no ema o guess no yere no the law will make provision for your father.
Let me so what if say dependence so tiase no na ebia relationship between onu the parents no enko yi into obia emfo obia ho sa into na bibia anko dada na nipa ne free mu do I will say states become hostile.
You see, and I'm can say the point is I didn't know who knew by new relationship.
Oh,
about the 18, way less than 18. Oh, I get it. I'm trying to teach and I say I didn't know who knew about the law, the presumption of the law. You see, law no ehunu is what the law is. Or again, you can even talk about what ought to be, but what the law is. The law presumes that why not le papa wono ni maame awo no o se me ma be nyina nya sika na me hwɛ me papa na me hwɛ me maame ana ma wo me hwɛ me ba emra ne fi se sai nipa no na ne normal anya dey enkoyi no problem we make way for that person ama ne normal anya dey akoyi but you can't demand and I'm so you can't demand do him wa spouse no spouse bia your friend be spousal property bia you could not create any spousal property but you had property before the marriage. Oh, and you know what now the trick about the means you can establish spousal property na topic be an can bro
and if I
prenuptial and spousal any marriage. You see the effect of that prenuptial no on spousal property before na you can guess because you need MMRA but we are coming close with the case law. There's a latest case about it. Why establish it? Say what it is supposed to be and now say or say you cast a prenuptial at the same and now so baby I could do as far as that property you do here into in case caneno near to our room see timua na ebi ameno bedi da na se obi akwa wo tetem so ebi ana court ze mempe kakra bi equitable ibia but I say we have to come to court and prove it to the be do her that for your council but the maker amano wa te ase ne say se spouse ne ti aware we mu na bi oba he no mantima anya depede bi obi okra nso a aya na abaka se wo de akwahye oba ne se okra me ware ma anya lack because me ware na me transport we ko ha we ko nkwa me ware wo no enti we di oba na ni kra what I say di kakra na wo ho no wa yi oba ne kra firi e basa the court will make provision for the woman but oba no say hold no anya abotre now ho area provision at terminate that is the caveat of it yes
right
and say more provision reasonable provision the amount you had the court can determine it can determine whether a lump sum of money it could be a building it could be
how long is that process
no so the court can give an order for a lifetime interest in a house just say until so be wu ankatremu onto bi an dan kura no ebi wo ha efie kakraka nti utimi di bi ahan court nka hwe nti bi ode aya ahan na onye ska edunya ska na sate ye nkwan ma mrante no matwuma for no ana mba na mbedi fufu no ana o se na maware o ye were evidence of marriage pe
it will say it's easy me enne de me say me interest ne won kwara ne ho pa hwe enkwala yi first of all me say those foster kids and as an kwara ne bi omo ye dependents they may not be children by blood no and as omo nye emoja nkwala no omo equal rights to say enkwala na wo mo eye mojaba
when we say equal right first of all
senka ye cha enanka ne ba ebenya te say mienu a ne oye dependent no or no so be the same ana
ye say wo ye well ana medical ka me bo hobi say wunya ye wewa wuna wo determine the disposition or how to dispose your property
yes
and you be kuma ba say because ma ho but obaka say oba no o car 6 oba na wo ankasa wo no no ama no Camry na oba no a wo adopt no ama no Range Rover
ento kwasida
obi eno oba be kan to kwando oba kunu a chire but wonya wo court will protect the person enti no but say koba say charge apade without interstate section na wa anye zamansia ye de nkura ni nyina bom ni a charge apade na ye de amom
pepe
enti
yim ye kasa unye mojaba
yeah
okay akwala onu nso so ebia ye wo no out of wedlock ya se be ka so ye bastard ya wo no aware echi na em say o papa ne wu eja ne wu ya na so na ne wu ye no na ya provide and say oyure no ti ase na ekunu no ti ase no ne na kontokwa ma ne hwe no sa akwara no ni a obetumi abe claim in retrospect say eja pade na na was en kabo de ma ya fa ama me say mi amenyi because a lot of times sa kids sa akwara no na wo mu ma me na wo papa no entumi ma me ko o say because one kasa wo be twem pena
buza question
me question say wo de ma me fa no simple emema na nkwala na ya wo mu won chen ye friend say me nka say wafa echiu but lawyer na bia wakobo nchen na che say wakofa akwala bia ba sabeta frache wunni ho na woyure anase busuafo no say sa akra ne de che say ye chikra ye mpese ebehu nanim nti mo anhwa akra no sa akwala ne maame no eya oftentimes wo mu ni power because no say ya no mkro musuru because me kwa me tare ho ene baba so oftentimes they don't know what to do sa kwala no so nyi a ono ankasa betimi aka say eniema na wo senka bia medi ana japade ana say inheritance bia na wo se meja o me papa ho mo amfa ama me nti say me back aba besiu me papa estate.
Yes, so for instance, yeah, of course, if it is about for a will and now your body womb
and I because I am bonidi
there
was no will too
and I'm going to say ye channel by provisions or the equation by interstate succession law now would you womb if you call there dime back now because now no mami so be anymore now be a mami near den you can come and claim it but what you cannot claim is where there's a will properly so called but for some reason papa na mood you and then abia uba for reasonable provision na because basically in the life case in the court cases that I was involved the court in that case either give you a lump sum of money or the call and now say Obama lifetime interest until lifetime it's a court ma lifetime interest sad there unyini ebia we de amount ye dan we ne ma lifetime interest room ana wo sentino maame no de bia wo de crado atum o ma ho who detect you can come and enforce it and then the money no bia scan that time on farmer you can come and get the money back
yeah. Into where the property has also been your friends say bia omo use ye hu
omo use
ebia na property no ma tonton kra.
Yes, so in that case,
remedy
in that case, it's case by case basis. Okay. You have to understand the reason why you dispose property. You come back to court, and the court will determine what actually was the reason for disposing the property. If it's reasonable to the court will give a subsequent order to it. But the only thing is that you claim it back.
Inti lawyer me say aba ene me common ni na che se me di ma sa ankra na ye wo mo nche no
minimum project aba be ye
no because wo mo ensem no what sometimes e be o na very very sad and you know say eba no say if your papa ne sad na some man no one want to make they cannot enforce your friends the right of the child. It's a lot of times near Jomosa. But I'm happy say wakase they can still come back and then claim what is due them. But me person me bisa say wo ho na se ebia uni obia wo sa na se sa kwala no ebia nipa ne frimu na say wontu bi sa wo ho a ebia the legal spouse no prevent you from your friend saying bringing the child na kwala ne embedi ne papa dia. What are the steps I will say we take and na more bang and I will say utu.
Obedi the papa there
say akola no ya wo no o papa ti asene de no papa hwe no e won chen e also be free in a side chick be free no beje me I'm not glorifying it but to say na wo kan those kids they are legitimate kids o mo ye innocent na yakofo o mo aba na papa ne free mu no na oba na wa aware na se no o ka say ye friend say minimu o nka me ma ne ho ana say minimi kunu bo ye friend say bra apage apade no na won ka ho di ye ma o hwe no
I get it
say wo ye empena na ye ne wa wo sa akra na steps bang and I'll be to me at take to protect the interest of your child and I'm on bang and I'll be to me their bo or bano interest.
Very good. I get the question. So now this is how it works. And to say any panel will and now 1 year will no, it will still end in court. Medical catch up and say court no and a year bodyguard ma or property. Because your property acquisition agasano a fundamental human right. You get it? Our freedom to go out, our freedom to do whatever we want to do. I can. Bako say you have the freedom to acquire property. Into crown on your property, your property. I don't know. I don't mean any. And one of the topics maybe in the future we'll talk about it. We'll find a way to understand what does the law or the court do to protect people's interest in property acquisition. Because if it is a fundamental human right, why is it become difficult for me to acquire land in Accra because I say land guard for? We'll come and talk about it.
In fact, we are very interested.
We'll come and talk about it. It just occurred to me. And I feel like
because they say in Kran has a to me top property we are near San especially near Abia Nipa no title and to and I want transfer and banded him no Toma. Literally, you are going to buy it again.
We'll look at it.
Yes, please.
But back to the question. So say, Uoba, only me oba, and now only ubi oba. And as a would penny free one, you take steps. The Biabaquabus and phone. I know I can't show as Santa Fodi and Husa and see a crying come. And my friend saying, "Hi, yeah, no
comment.
I have a penny bonus say, the mafia for time whom we are signing a wound cray. Into no maba. Into omoba. What I say? Now, two things. Whereas I was a phone has going to teach you as a lawyer bones, lawyer and baron. And as I met Medina, I say, oh, Massa, and you're feeling I've been a better and then we are check car way now. No problem. But then to them, what they need to do, Abusianum Pono, you have to go for letter of administration. In the process of putting your application for that letter of administration, to go and share the property. Wow, banana. Wow, only papa na we are bravo. We don't hear move. But Ubano, your free be caveator and a caveatress. Until you can come under caveat and also a notice. It's not an application, but notice to the court. Say, me were interest war. Until there's nothing the court can do without a resort to me. There's a court in Timina this is what team and no na court 31 no asem ti hona aba bebo nkuru a check court say me ni papa no wo ye na papa no ne bani na wawu na essence o ne bani nti no me nim say mra no e ma ho kwan say onya bibi wa japadie nim makwa abusuafo no ho omo amfimi the same way executor baba aba be je probate under probate application no wetima ba and a caveat nangasa just to understand so you want to be a party or to the process so that you want to understand what is in for you because one kahwa boy chair can kaya untie ngaza go bia ba ko tie bi one count you want to be part of it e jibe ko abokomu say na oba no kra na ya manager padie kakraka and so no ni friend e bia won tinti na nka dey fa okọ anaso be do hon ubani din ya mani bi and then you come under section 13 to claim some for your child if your child is under 8.
My last question
me too
enkwala ebia ya wo mu e wa wawem na later no DNA a bebebe ni ekohu say akwala yi onye papa ne ba
o kan ko si
at the end of
because
those kids are innocent. Omunim say omo de papa no wa so na wa show mo akwakosi. Do those kids have a right to your property?
Wewu no. Ana medical aka say medical ma wati ase say ebibete
ana wu yempo a
good ya
mami tu ni nyina
mami ma tu no ebi esipe ho
ai
ya tibi ya enti ye esi nti your friend is say ya amanfo hweba in fact we share statistics ni observation I'm putting as observation I remember about 60% where my mama
yeti
e wokrum ha so what I say nti and I'm na minimum how true it was but you can say Minister of Health can say and say they're going forward will be as they be a few hospital or near who will be that would be interesting that would be also and see, that is the point say it is very dependent into the law look at provision for dependent it doesn't even here no or classifying as dependency and see well who show DNA na your ba there say your ba now once the child is dependent on you it is not out of place to make a provision for that child it's not out of place but some people who can say it's and say anya me ba no na me yere pa me don no wa treke me no me nye hwe mfa makra no nti we de oba no ho bufuo no akokum na yemwa so what I say and that is another part that will happen. There's another flip.
What kind of person who say a lot of times definitely say DNA ne ba our rejay and it was so when the court sound no does the court make provision court no make provisions be say e kwana de say wona na wo show mu wo mu nim say wo papa no into still I was so we make provisions be mom we be a child support be and maintenance etua ma sound no say e function kwala na say ye ja wo mu
yes, so I mentioned, say, there's a case law that states say, akwato chain at the point of death, awuniho, and I say yekikano biano, even at dissolution, the courts ankasano. Because the court is the protector, Court Act. The court is the protector of children. The court can make provision for the child. And what won't change. So what I say? The court will make provision because according to won't change. Yeah, of course. If the matter is before the court to establish whether the child is a biological child or not, that's a different matter altogether. We will establish that. But in terms of dissolution and making provision, the court will ask. Provision and crab issues been our and you because the issue be a answer. But if the two of you never mention a crown and DNA negative now, and now because it is not before the court. The court is no magician. The court will not know what is not before him. And see, so nobody say, oh, me answer. Nana no no offer and character be say, and yeah, it is. If the court no initiative because we've said it, the court can say, well, I know it's a mood or there, but I'm making provision to take care of the child. Maintenance. So the child is 18. The court can do that.
Okay. All right. Lawyer, medasi, papa, say, wabe wabe boye ne na wacheche emra no mu ensem ama yenso yesu ade bebre nti medasi. Me say Monsieur said there is no illegitimate child. And all dependent kids have equal rights.
Yes.
And meboa. What a tougher. Lawyer Oxford or say Boons or a private legal practitioner or peno and then a kasana say biana and tiasena ko now person would say emrana see I'll be to me a friend was 0244 085316 0244 085316 na just say or the emrano out from amao boko and I'm who ya so a clothing palace one opposite lava and womo SCC bi womo so open atare amehye bi asha obetumi afro mo 0271998313 0271998313 medin ede nana ekua asanteba mensa that's na e be sen hye bi bye bye